You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight here in the studio, and joining us from his studio at home is Alex Jones. He'll be co-hosting this hour. Actually, he'll be interviewing Joyce Riley, host of the Power Hour on GCN, someone who is struggling with stage 4 cancer right now. We're going to be talking to her in the next segment about her personal struggle. But joining us now is Alex Jones. Alex.
David, again, in the last hour, you were breaking down the fact that Egypt is basically attacking al-Qaeda forces that were put in charge by our government and NATO in Libya. You also covered their full-out terrorization, as they've done gun owners, saying, we'll publish your names in the newspaper where you live. If you don't take vaccines, it's your fault we're getting sick. If you've supposedly been vaccinated, you are protected. And it is a total fraud, but they're going to push this hoax to the end because their fraud is collapsing. That's not my opinion. It is the vaccine industry's Brian Williams moment. And we shot a video Impromptu Friday that we put out Saturday that is titled on YouTube and is the main featured video on our YouTube channel, breaking down the fact that we're declaring war on the fraudulent vaccine industry. And we need everybody who's a victim. I mean, when we open the phones up, they just fill up with victims of vaccines where the doctors admitted to them that the vaccine hurt them. Marcos Morales, our live news director, the doctor admitted to him that his daughter had a bad reaction to vaccines. Other people's doctors go, yeah, my child had a seizure. It's normal. They're now saying in the news having a seizure is normal. Folks, that means your brain is in total collapse level when you're having a seizure and having an autoimmune response to these things that irrevocably lowers IQ. It's beyond shock therapy, according to Dr. Blaylock. That's what they're inducing with these seizures. There is so much autoimmune response in the brain that your brain has a seizure and short circuits. This is what we're doing to our children with this sick group of globalists who openly say they want to forcibly reduce our numbers, but they want to give us these vaccines to keep us safe when they've been caught, David, as you know, all over the world, secretly adding things to the vaccines to sterilize people, you name it. We need to have the 10 reasons not to take vaccines. Paul Watson should write an article about this and break down the history of secret testing, the secret of spiking vaccines, the liability protection, the social engineering aspects, the fact that they lie and say it protects you when it doesn't. Why do you think they're pushing so hard right now, David?
Well, I think what they're pushing, Alex, is a total blind faith in government and pharmaceutical companies. I think what they're doing is they're rolling this back. They're trying to roll back informed consent. The very idea of it, of course, is tied to Obamacare. That's where we see that we don't even have a choice as to what kind of insurance we're going to have. So why should we think that we're going to have a choice whether or not we're going to vaccinate our children? To me, that is the fundamental issue. The science is very important because people need to understand that there are real issues about the safety and the effectiveness of these vaccines, and we shouldn't have a blind faith in government or in the big pharmaceutical companies. That's a very dangerous stance to have.
Absolutely. And at a base level, who really trusts the government and the shadowy corporations involved? In fact, here's another angle no one's going with that I think is one of the biggest angles to really expose this, both in reality but also from a PR position. Last number I saw in USA Today a few years ago was something like 83% of vaccines are manufactured in China that are consumed in this country. So we need to get Rob Dew, the big master researcher, or Kit Daniels, or any of our other great researchers to dig up, or CJ, I mean, whole crew's good at it, to research and find out the amount of pharmaceuticals statistically, because some numbers are as high as 90% the pharmaceuticals, but the number I saw was 83% of the vaccines are being made in a country known to basically taint everything. And whatever it is, 20, 30 years ago, I hear this argument, well, 20, 30 years ago, I didn't get seizures or get sick from vaccines because they gave you 5 vaccines 30 years ago. It's now 36 they're trying to make mandatory. Some kids take more than 60. There are 60 out there popularly used. 36, though, that schools are trying to make you take versus 5. I mean, this is a big deal. For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. You don't have to be a doctor to know. The fall and winter months are the most dangerous time of year in North America when it comes to you and your family's health. InfoWarsLife.com is very excited to announce our biggest run yet of Silver Bullet colloidal silver, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. Now more than ever, it's important to stock up on high-quality Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com. No survival chest is complete without Silver Bullet. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Silver Bullet.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with Super Male or Super Female Vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put 2 and 2 together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight. I'm here in the studio. Joining us from a remote location is Alex Jones, joining us from his studio at home. We're also being joined this segment by Joyce Riley, host of the Power Hour. And I know that Alex wanted to talk to Joyce about her struggle with cancer. Alex?
Absolutely. If Joyce can do it, I'd like to invite her to join us for the whole hour. Her website is thepowerhour.com. She's been on the show many times over the years. She, of course, would go on routinely with Art Bell and then, of course, George Norrie. I first remember interviewing her 20 years ago when I just had a local radio show on KJFK 98.9 FM here in Austin, Texas. And her coming to town with the Gulf War Vets Association, exposing and getting the secret documents proving Gulf War syndrome was real. Now they admit it's real, but for more than a decade, they covered it up. And Joyce basically ended up getting the Gulf War syndrome as well. And it was a cocktail of issues causing that. And I want her in the second half of the interview today to specifically with you, David, co-hosting, walk into that history, Gulf War. She was instrumental in helping stop the full implementation of the Emergency States Powers Act that would force inoculations on citizens back in 2002, 2003. They have tried this before. But Joyce has missed some time recently on her morning show that comes on right before ours at GCNlive.com, thepowerhour.com. And I had heard that she was sick, and then recently heard her talk about just how ill she was, and I've been praying for her and others that I care about pretty much every day, trying to keep her in my prayers. And I'd like folks to pray for Joyce. I know she's a Christian. She's got pretty serious cancer. I'm going to let her tell that story and try to shut up and not famously take over the whole interview. But she's currently the host of the Power Hour on GCN. Joyce Riley is a registered nurse who's been the director of nursing for 4 institutions, has been a heart, lung, liver, and kidney transplant nurse. She also served as a captain in the U.S. Air Force in support of Operation Desert Storm, flying active duty missions on C-130 aircraft from Alaska to Cuba. Her experience as a legal testifying expert in medical malpractice trials gave her the background to investigate the truth about Gulf War illness. She has since become an advocate for all veterans and citizens experimented on by our government. Joyce was a whistleblower in the famous baby death case in which nurse Janine Jones, who now serves a life sentence in the Texas prison system, was convicted of causing injury. They ended up catching her. Joyce really kind of caught her. To many babies in Bexar County, that's San Antonio, Texas. She presently serves as a spokesman for the American Gulf War Veterans Association, thepowerhour.com, and she's fighting for her life, as we all are every day, but she's fighting hard right now, folks. Joyce, thank you so much for coming on. We salute your work for humanity.
Well, thank you, Alex, and thank you, David. It's a pleasure to be here. You know, when I first heard David say that, I'm fighting for my life and stage 4 cancer, it's kind of like, who's he talking about? I mean, I can't believe that I'm actually hearing that about myself, because I've been on the other side of it, treating people for so long that had cancer, and then all of a sudden to wake up every morning and think, oh my gosh, I have cancer. It's just such a foreign thought and a foreign situation, and it takes action. It doesn't take, you know, I mean, it is a mental issue to try and accept all of this, because I didn't find out until the day before Thanksgiving when I went into the emergency room and they did an MRI and CT scan, and they said, you have spinal cancer really, really badly. Oh. And I was just like shocked, you know. Really? And so at that point, they began emergency radiation, believe it or not, on Thanksgiving Day. And I told the radiation oncologist, I said, this must be bad if you're doing it on Thanksgiving. And he said, absolutely. He said, if we didn't do it today, you probably wouldn't be here. So I didn't realize how bad it was. And so there's a lot of things I've learned from this that I would like to share with people that they need to know in advance, because once you get cancer or once you are deeply embedded in the disease itself, and a lot of people may have it and just don't know it, like myself, I didn't know it. And so you need to be aware of what to do in advance, because once you get there, there's a lot of things that take place, and it's really hard to try and do everything that needs to be done.
Well, I want to give you the floor with David Knight. I'm going to be here in the background as well, but if I don't just step back, I'll get so emotional, I'll be jumping in and probably start crying. It touches us all. My grandmother's made the decision not to fight breast cancer at 89, but she's been dealing with that the last few years, so we're watching that progress. We see cancer numbers, as you know, Joyce, just pediatric cancer, breast cancer, it's all off the chart. Later, I want you to give your real expertise on why it's skyrocketing in Western world, not in third world areas, the whole vaccine situation, how it all ties together, the medical tyranny. And I want to invite you, back for a part 2 of this interview as well. But for the rest of the hour, please, you've got the floor. David and I will just go in and out of break, talk about your personal story, and then expand on it.
Okay, well, thank you. But my personal story, I think, is born out of a lot of fighting against issues, just like you. And I think what you do, Alex, and what David does, and what all of us do on Genesis, is we're fighting against things. And it's taken a lot out of us, because it's been sort of a rough road to try and fight those things, fight the powers that be. and then maintain a healthy lifestyle and do the things that you're supposed to do for yourself. And I learned late about diet. I learned very late that there were things that worked, that there were things that were much better than anything that medicine can give us. I mean, you've got to remember, I was a nurse for many, many years, and I lectured at NIH. I was involved in some of the most, some of the most critical things in medicine, heart, lung, liver, kidney transplant. I